and this is Scoutadelic, and today is Telfer's Tasty Tuesdays. Over the next few Tuesdays I'm going to be taking you through some of my favourite recipes, some a little bit more adventurous and some a little bit more traditional, but the important thing is giving you to have a go at something at home and to have a lot of fun. Remember, it doesn't matter what it looks like when it comes out at the end, as long as you've had fun and given it a really good go. So today we are going to be doing some maple and lemon drop scones, or Scotch pancakes as they're also known. I love this recipe because it's really quite easy and it looks really good at the end of it. Without further ado, let me take you over the ingredients and the equipment that you're going to need to give this bake a go. Right, so here I've got all the ingredients out ready, pre-weighed and ready to go. So let me take you through them. So in my big bowl here, sifted, I've got 110 grams of plain flour. And then in this little bowl here, I have got, so I've got a mixture of two things in here. I've got 3/4 of a teaspoon of bicarbonate soda and 1.5 teaspoons of cream of tartar. This is going to give our drop scones, or Scotch pancakes, it's bubbly, light nature, so this bit's really important. Now if you can't get hold of cream of tartar, that's absolutely fine, you can use lemon juice instead, but just Google to see the difference you have to use, because you have to use a little bit more. I've also got 140 millilitres of milk. I have got 1 medium egg, beaten, ready to go, and pour it in, and I'm going to need 1 tablespoon of caster sugar and the zest of 1 lemon, which is actually in here in my little mini zester there, and some of my favourite is maple syrup, and we're going to need about 2 tablespoons of that. So to begin with, okay, we've got the plain flour in here and we've sifted it. We need to add our cream of tartar and our bicarb soda in there. Get it all in there, and then we're also going to add our lemon zest. Okay, this is mine's quite nifty, is a little zester, but you can use a grater, that's not a problem at all. So let's make sure we get all that in there. The bonus of this is it's just a little bit easier to get all those fine little bits out. Okay, I'm also going to put in a tablespoon of caster sugar, just a level one. Okay, put that in there, and then we're going to mix it together. Okay, so just nice spoon, make sure that lemon zest, it tends to clump up, so if you can get in there, then you can kind of get all that mixed in. Excellent. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a well in the middle of it. That's just a posh baking word for a hole. So I'm going to make a hole in the flour there, and what I'm going to tip in is I'm going to add the egg. Okay, and then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. Now it can be tempting to put loads of this in if you like it, but it does make it overly sweet. So hold it back and you can save it and pour it on the top later. So we've got maple syrup in there, we've got egg, we also need to add our milk. Okay, so that's all in there, all ready to go, but now we need to mix it together. So for this, you're going to need a whisk, okay, and we need to whisk it into a smooth batter. Now, with Scotch pancakes, what we need to do is make sure you don't over mix it, okay, so we're going to mix it together until it's just smooth, and then we need to stop. Okay, so let's go. So, as I said, we don't want to overly mix that because it does make a potentially tougher pancake, but you need to make sure it's smooth. Now hopefully, once you've mixed it all together, you will start to see, and I'm going to see if I can get this close enough to the camera, see all those bubbles in there? That's our amazing cream of tartar and our bicarb soda doing its thing, okay? So the next bit, we need to move on to the cooking. Okay, so we've got the batter for our awesome drop scones. But now what we need to do is we actually need to cook them. Now what I've got here is something called a griddle, okay, and it's a heavy base. It's not like a pan in traditional sense with an edge, but if you don't have one of these, and I realise not everybody has these in their kitchen because they're not as mad as I am, but you can use a frying pan, a heavy base frying pan, okay. It doesn't make too much difference. This just gives it a really nice even kind of finish on it, and you don't have to worry about the edges of the pan. Now you need to get this onto your hob, whether it's gas or electric, and then what you need to do is you need to just lightly grease it. So that could be with some oil or some butter, and I'm going to use some butter. Now I've got this pastry brush here. Now this pastry brush is silicone based and it is heat resistant. So this is on now, and I've got the heat on it, which is getting quite warm. So I'm going to lightly brush it. Do not do this with a normal pastry brush, okay? It will melt, as one of my explorers found out the other week. But this one's okay. So you could use a bit of a kitchen roll, if you've got any, to wipe it over. But you need something that you can do when it's hot, because you're going to need to do this, okay, in between each layer of your Scotch pancakes, okay. So I've just put a nice little layer over there, and you can, I don't know if you can see on there, but it's just starting to bubble, okay. We need to make sure this is on a medium heat, so it's quite warm, so please be very, very careful. Now, okay, so I've let my griddle get really nice and hot, and just to test that it's not too hot, it is smoking a little bit, but that's quite normal with a griddle. With your frying pan it shouldn't do this as much, but I'm just going to put a tablespoon of mixture on there. Oh, listen to that sizzle in that little round circle there, no more than a tablespoon. So to keep it nice, and can you see the edges are firming up? So I know that's not too hot, but it's not too cool either. So I'm going to do mine in batches of 4, okay, and see how they go. You'll be able to tell from the colour when we flip them over in a minute, and you can adjust the temperature after that. But just 4 nice little splodges, and let's see how they go. So as I said, let them cook for a couple of minutes, and then this mixture will make about 16, so I'll do them in a few more little batches. Let's see how they go. They look like they're cooking great. So don't worry if they're not all perfect. Look, mine are all different. So, but you can see when I put the edge, oh yeah, look. Okay, we should be able to flip them over. Oh, a little bit dark, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit now. There we go. Oh, but looking good. Now these things are great eating straight off the griddle. Well, not straight off the griddle, you don't want to burn yourself, but flip 2 more on that side, and I'm going to turn mine down a little bit. There we go. But these are great. We're still warm with some Greek yogurt and some of your favourite fresh fruit. They taste brilliant. Or if you want to be a little bit more naughty, you can put a bit of a maple syrup on, but really nice for a treat. Okay. Nice even colour, a little bit dark, but hopefully the rest of them will be a little bit better. Absolutely right, and here's on to making the next few batches. With the magic of cinema, it's going to go like this. And there you have it. It is that easy. Do them in small batches so you can keep an eye on them, but this is my finished drop scones. Okay, loads of different colours going on there. You can see these ones at the bottom, they're a bit darker. They were just the first ones I'd done, and I was trying to get used to the temperature of the pan. And even though I've cooked these loads before, it still gives me a couple of attempts when I'm trying it. So please don't panic if the first few times go horrendously wrong. It's just getting in the swing of it and learning it. And even me, who's made these thousands of times, it just takes a little bit. Once you've finished cooking them and you've got all of your lovely dessert drop scones together, you can think about serving them. So you can serve them straight off the grill with whatever you want, basically. The lemon and maple ones I think go really well with either a few tablespoons of maple syrup or some Greek yogurt if you want to balance out the sweetness. If you don't want to eat them there and then, or you can't eat all 16 in one go, which is very reasonable, you can keep them in wrap them in a tea towel in your bread bin or in a box, and then just pop them in your toaster for a couple of minutes to warm them back up, and then you can eat them again with whatever you want. Okay? One of my favourites. They look complicated, but they are so simple. So I do really recommend you give them a go, because it's a bit of good fun, especially if there's a couple of people in your house that want to give it a go together. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's tasty Telfer's Tasty Tuesday, and I hopefully will see you again in the next couple of weeks. Don't forget to click the bell, like, subscribe, and if you've enjoyed this video of Scoutadelic, why not share it with another Scouter and spread the love. Keep being awesome and be a little bit Scoutadelic.